Welcome back to the Whiskey Couch. This is a place where we specialize in whiskey and food. In this series, we're getting now to the second bottle in the lineup of Glen Moray Elgin Classic whiskies. You can see the one that we've already finished, the Elgin Classic. And today we're doing the Sherry Cask Finish. Quite excited about this range of whiskies that I'm doing, this lineup of whiskies. From the Glen Moray distillery situated in Speyside in the Northern Highlands of Scotland. Founded in 1897, 123 years ago, and owned by Le Martinique, if I pronounce that word correctly. It's situated on the banks of the river Lossie. Beautiful place. If you're ever fortunate enough to visit that area, worthwhile to pop in there. Wonderful tasting venue that they've got. I really enjoyed it when we visited Glen Moray. So this is it for today, for this video. No age statement, and you can see there the difference between the Elgin Classic and this one is that it's been finished in sherry casks. So you've got about 6 years in mainly first fill ex-Bourbon casks, and then approximately 2 years in sherry casks, and I think it's from the Jerez region in Spain, according to the official website, the Glen Moray website. Now this is contrary to the previous bottle. This is a European bottle, so we're looking at 40% and only 700 milliliter bottle. 40%, so 3% less alcohol. No mention is made whether there's colouring added or whether chill filtrated. So not sure about that. Nevertheless, there is the color for you. I'm going to show you right now. Let's see if we can create some legs on the glass. You can look at this color, a burnished gold, so it's a little bit darker than the Elgin Classic. Let's see on the nose. Toffee candy. Toffee candy. That's also what the official website says, and I must agree with that. It pops right up, together with the cinnamon, the raisins, the dried fruit, sherry. I just love a sherry cask matured whiskey. Wonderful. If you do the drop in the palm test, then the aroma left in the palm of your hand after you have rubbed it fiercely until it gets warm is fresh, warm raisin bread. So a little different when compared to the Elgin Classic. Quite a wonderful nose. I'm still astonished by the good value that this lineup gives you. It is a really well priced single malt whiskey. On the palate, sláinte. Light, sweet sherry. Light, sweet sherry. Some vanilla there with some Christmas spices. Chocolate, custard. Quite a bit going on the palate. A little bit more complex than the Elgin Classic because of the extra cask in the maturation process. More custard. We're going to get to the food snack pairing, but I think a custard based dessert will be wonderful, even with the previous whiskey, the Glen Moray Elgin Classic, but also with this one, because the custard notes are quite prominent there in the flavor profile. The finish, short to medium long, slightly warm, soft pepper and marmalade that's left on your palate in the finish of this whiskey. If we add a few drops of water, 40%, so I must be careful. It's quite light in the ABV, so just 3 drops to see if it will open up a little bit more. You will see the oily effect there. And I've mentioned in the previous video that I'm playing around with meringues to see how meringues pairs with single malt whiskey. And the previous whiskey we have We've paired that one with a pomegranate flavored meringue. Today we've got different meringues here. I'm going to tell you right now what we're doing, but after a few drops of water, vanilla's still there, but now I'm getting something that reminds me of sponge cake with a drizzle of sherry. On the nose, on the palate, very soft, very thin. I wouldn't add water. And similar to the previous bottle that I've done in the previous video, not a very complex whiskey, not a whiskey that'll stand out in a few months from now. Not that memorable, quite thin, but for an everyday drinker at this price, it is a really good dram. And I hope that makes sense. 300 Rand approximately in South Africa translates to about 15 pounds. I think in the previous video my calculation was wrong. 300, 15 pounds, 20 US dollars. I made a mistake there in the previous video. Nevertheless, here we go. Food snack pairing. The meringue that I found that works best with this one is a coffee meringue. So here we go, coffee meringues. And it works well, coffee chocolate with a sherry cask matured whiskey is a good option. Let's try this again. Just melts in your mouth, leaves that wonderful espresso taste, and now sherry cask matured Glen Moray Elgin Classic. Here we go. It will be better before I added the water, but a lovely pairing. The coffee and the sherry notes, it just goes so wonderful together. Quite a successful pairing, and I experimented with about 8 different flavored meringues. What an interesting journey. Thanks for joining me, and hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button, and I will see you in the next video when I'm going to do the Chardonnay cask Glen Moray Elgin Classic. Until then, sláinte.